Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, my students.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good
Good
morning,
morning,
ma'am.
ma'am.
We move class. I want to check your attendance first, so please, all of you, to turn on your camera.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Nurul Dwi Pratiwi, Rumiani Dwi Hartini,
Yes, ma'am.
Reski Fitrisari,
Yes, ma'am.
and Yudhistira Bayu Sagara.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's move to today's material. So today we're gonna talking about descriptive text. But before we start, let me ask you first. Is anybody here know about what is descriptive text? Please tell me what you know.
The text describe about a noun or a subject.
Okay, thank you, Romi. I think that's correct, but I will give you a further information about descriptive text. So, before we start, let me explain the learning objective for today's meeting. The first is students are able to define what is meant by descriptive text. The second is students are able to analyze the generic structure of descriptive text. The third is students are able to identify the linguistic features of the text. And the last, students will be able to create their own descriptive text with appropriate generic structure and linguistic feature. So there are 4 learning objectives that I hope you guys expected to achieve after today's learning. Okay, so now let's move to the example. Can you guys see the text?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so of the text is Partai Merah Muda. There are 3 paragraphs there. The first paragraph is Pink Beach Partai Merah Muda is one of the beaches on the island. It's called Pink Beach. Itself is pink. The first paragraph beach, coral, shells, calcium carbonate from marine invertebrates that are very small, and also for Minifora microscopic amoeba that has a red body shell. And the third or the last paragraph is at Pink Beach, there are so many marine organisms, no fewer than 1,000 species of fish, 260 species of coral, and 70 species of sponge can be found here. Having so much marine life, this place is a spot for snorkeling and diving for sea sport lovers. So the second and the third paragraph is a description. So what I said, identification and description, is a generic structure of descriptive text. Now let's see what is actually the definition of descriptive text. So descriptive text is a text that explains and describes about a person, place, or thing in detail. Atau teks deskripsi adalah teks yang menjelaskan atau mendeskripsikan tentang seorang, tempat, ataupun hal-hal dengan detail atau lebih spesifik. Selanjutnya yaitu komponen dari deskriptif. The structure, the second one is social function, and the last one is linguistic features. Now we will talk about the first generic structure. Okay, I mentioned before in the text Pink Beach that there are two structure of the descriptive text. The first one is identification. So the identification in what refers to subject such as things, place, person, animal, and is description contains a description of something, animals, things, place, or persons by describing its features, forms, colors, or anything related to other type refers to characteristic, qualities, and so on. Now is the social function of descriptive text atau fungsi dari descriptive text. So the function of descriptive text is everything such as person, animal, plant, or thing with the properties as age, size, number, and untuk tunggu secara lebih spesifik mengetahui apa yang penulis deskripsikan. And the last is linguistic feature of the descriptive text. The first one is specific participant. The example of specific participant is like Bendungan Beach, my house, Borobudur Temple, or Uncle Jim. And the second is the use of the adjective. For example, a beautiful beach, a handsome man. And the third is the use of simple present tense. And the last is in descriptive text, they use action verb. Of action verb is like a wall, run, sleep, or cut. Okay, that's all my explanation about descriptive text. Now we will move to the example of descriptive text. Maybe I want you guys to read the text first, because before we analyze and identifying the text. For the first paragraph, I want Nurul Dwi Pratiwi to please read the text.
I always brush it in a good way because I'm afraid that something is broken. I set aside pocket money for my drawings. From here I learned to see.
Kedengaran suaranya Nurul Dwi Pratiwi, men.
Everyone that was convicted. Which is like undertone with black, white, and black.
Okay, thank you, Nurul Dwi Pratiwi. I think your voice is I can hear it clearly, but thank you. And for the second paragraph, Rumiani, can you please read the text?
Yes, ma'am. This panda doll is unique because the inside of the stomach is not foam, but grains, so it is fun when holding it. And I hope this doll is not broken quickly and is always with me.
Okay, thank you, Rumiani. For the third paragraph, Reski Fitrisari, can you please read the text?
Yes, ma'am. I always wash it in a good laundry because I'm afraid that something is broken. I set aside pocket money for my doll needs. From here, I learned to save.
Okay, thank you. Paragraph,
Every day, I really found a doll that finally became so very important to put it in the bed every day. I did it when I
Okay, thank you, Ristira. I think you guys did a
it
good job. After read the text, I will ask you about the generic structure and the linguistic feature of the text. For the generic structure, is anybody here can tell me the structure of the text that include the identification and description? Which paragraph of the text is the identification?
The first paragraph is identification.
Okay, and which paragraph is the description?
The second and still the last paragraph, ma'am.
Okay, the second, the third, and the fourth paragraph. I think you guys already understand about the generic structure. So now we move to the linguistic features. For the first is the specific participant. Is anybody here can tell me which is the specific participant in the tag?
The stick is the doll or panda doll, ma'am.
Okay. And then the use of adjective.
White and
Black panda, white and black, unique, fun.
And very soft face.
And use
Always have.
Okay, and the last is the action verb.
The action verb
Grows, learn, need, heart, and payment.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, thank you for your response. So I think you guys already understand about the generic structure and the linguistic feature of descriptive text. So now let me move to the last example of descriptive text. Okay, so the title of the text is Borobudur template. I want you guys to please read the text first, and then after that, I will ask some question related to text. For now,
Buddhist temple. It was built in the main country under the Cylinder dynasty
yes,
of the ancient Mataram Kingdom. Borobudur is located
Yes,
in
ma'am.
Magelang, Central Java, Indonesia.
Yes,
Borobudur
ma'am.
is well known all over the world.
done, ma'am.
okay, all of you done reading the text?
Borobudur is a Buddhist temple. It was built in the Nan country under the Cylinder dynasty of the ancient Mataram Kingdom.
Okay, now I will
It is located in Magelang,
some
Central
to
Java,
the
Indonesia. Borobudur is well known all over the world. Its
Descriptive
conception
text
is
about
by
Borobudur
the
template.
architecture of India. The
For the
temple
first
is
question is Borobudur temple. You can answer the question.
It was built in the 9th century under the Sailendra dynasty of the Asian Mataram Kingdom, ma'am.
Okay, that's correct. Thank you, Rumi. And for the second question is, where is Borobudur temple located?
In Magelang, ma'am, Central Java, Indonesia.
Okay, that's correct. And for the third question, how many steps does Borobudur temple consist of?
It consists of 8 steps.
Sorry?
It consists of
Okay, thank you. And for the fourth question is, what is the shape of the first 5 terrace of Borobudur temple?
Ma'am, the first 5 pillars are square and surrounded by walls, adorned with a blue sculpture by statue.
Okay, thank you, Yudhishthira, for your answer. And next is, what crowns the entire upper structure of Borobudur temple? Anybody here can answer the question?
me, ma'am.
Yes, please.
The entire upper structure is crowned by a large stupa at the center of the top circle.
Okay, thank you, Reski. And next question is, what concept does the design of Borobudur symbolize? You can answer.
The design of Borobudur symbolizes the conception of the universe in Buddhist cosmology.
Okay, next question is, what year was Borobudur temple re-inaugurated as a national monument?
Borobudur Temple was inaugurated as an Indonesian monument in 1983.
Okay, thank you, Reski, for your answer. And next question is, what is the kind of the text? Somebody here can tell me the answer?
Me, ma'am.
Yes, Nurul, please.
The kind of the text is descriptive text.
Okay, descriptive text. And question is, what is the purpose of the text?
The purpose of the text is to describe the Borobudur template.
Okay, and the last question is, explain the generic structure of the text.
The first paragraph is the identification structure because the first paragraph introduces what is the writer described, and the second until the last paragraph is description structure because berisikan penjelasan atau pendeskripsian dari Borobudur.
Okay, thank you, Nurul, for your response. So, I think you guys can answer all the questions correctly about the Borobudur template. And maybe that's all for the material for today's meeting. But before we end the session, I want one of you guys to please give me some conclusion about what you learned or what you got from today's class. Is anybody
ma'am.
here? Yes, Rumiani, please.
Descriptive text is a text explain or describe.
Okay, thank you, Rumiani. And next question is, what is the meaning of the Borobudur template?
Descriptive text is a text explain or describe.
Yes, Reski, please.
something like person or uh, thing, and the structure is identification and describe. I think that's all, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Rumi. So, to wrap up, gang, descriptive tags that explain or describe a person